Hello, it's Chris here. Looking at reviewing some more beer. You were pleased to hear, well, I'm pleased to hear it anyway because it means I get to drink it. Right, well, tonight's beer is from the Thornbridge Brewery, one of my favourite breweries. It's a Weisse, which is their Weisse beer, so a nice little play on words there. And I've picked this one particularly tonight because it's been giving me a bit of aggro. I've got a number of these stashed away. Yeah, it's their Weisse beer and has a live yeast culture in it. And I'm going to let you just see what happens when I crack it open, really. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Maybe talk about that once I've done it. Now, unusually, I'm going to use a bowl with this tonight. Bearing in mind I've opened a number of these before. And you're going to back to see why. Hopefully I'll get this opening right. There we go. Hopefully you can pick that up on the camera. Unusual. I'm sure you'll agree. It's the first time I've come across it. This is now my special Weisse bowl that I'm using for drinking this. Still coming. There we go. Now, what I've found is that it's still perfectly drinkable. What I've also found is that you should take care when opening this, because it will drip all over your kitchen unless you have a bowl at hand. So it pours nice. Still, lots of fluffy bits there. And what's happening, as far as I can tell, we haven't really got to the bottom of it. I've been talking to the brewery about it. Is that there's a secondary fermentation happening. The live yeast is reactivated, which is causing it to go bonkers. However, as far as I can tell, it remains perfectly drinkable. So you've got mildly off-white head there, nice and cloudy, as you'd expect from a Weisse beer. And what do we get from the nose? See, from the nose, you'd never tell there was anything wrong with this beer. It's bananas, it's bubble gum, it's clovey, hammy. Yeah, it smells bloody fantastic. A little bit of the yeast popping up on the fizz there. So the head's dissipated. I'm going to get into this. See how we go. Everything you get in the nose is in the flavour. When I wrote about this, I wrote about it a while back on my blog. I said that it was Bazooka Joe and Christmas ham, and I stand by that. That's absolutely what you get from this. It's it's tasty and it's refreshing, and you would quite happily stick a couple of these away without really noticing. It's 5%, you know, and my experience with wheat beers is if you drink too many of them, it all ends up a bit sickly, and you know. But for a couple on an evening, absolutely fine, really good. The yeast thing shouldn't bother you. I mean, if it does happen to you, and I've probably just got a bit of a wonky batch, or possibly, you know, my beer cupboard is just exactly the wrong temperature for this. My beer cupboard is a cupboard where beer comes out the right temperature at this time of year to drink straight from the bottle without even a small bit of fridging or anything. But it might just not suit this. You know, and this has been stood now for, well, a week, 10 days maybe. So it's not a movement thing. Yeah, I'm gonna drink a bit more. It's what you'd expect from a Weisse beer. Is it's got its own kind of body. It's not a thick body like a stout, or is it, you know, a porter, and it's not like a golden ale. It comes with its own kind of particular way of being, which was, you know, delightful when that's what you're in the mood for. The flavour keeps going in your mouth, and it does, crucially, I think it makes you want to come back for more. So it also makes you want to burp slightly, so bear with me, it does that a little bit, and that's not unpleasant. Maybe for you it was unpleasant, for me it was perfectly fine, because it tastes nice, quite frankly. I'm going to drink a bit more. Now, I was slightly concerned about the whole yeast thing. You know, drinking live yeast, is that necessarily a good idea? From what I understand, drinking live yeast is going to be able. Drinking live yeast. Yeah, I mean, it's not something you want to do every day, because if you did it too much, you'd probably end up on the bog. But live yeast has plenty of vitamin B in it, which is one of the things that drinking takes away from your system when you've been drinking. So, actually, potentially it could help you avoid a hangover. I'm not prepared to test that. Those of you who follow me on Twitter will know that I went out for too many drinks last night, and I was suffering slightly this morning. So this is a welcome relief from the mass-produced nonsense that I had to make do with last night. So, a rating. My very first experience of a white beer, or these kinds of beers, back in the early 2000s, and they started bringing over some things like Hogard and stuff like that. Not brilliant, not terrible, but not brilliant. This is much better than that. It's not, however, as good as some of the stuff that I've had directly from, you know, Germany, or there's one that I did that Waitrose carried from the Arco Brau, sorry. Which is really good, and the equivalent beer from the Artisan Brewing Company in Cardiff, which, if you've ever popped down to Cardiff, you must go to that place and pick up some of their beer. Fantastic. This is a decent example of the class. It's slightly on its own, as most Thornbridge beers are, in that it gives you their take on it, which is great. You know. It'd be boring if it was all the same, or maybe that's the strapline for Carlin, I can't remember. Anyway, I'm going to give this 7.5. It's decent, it's pretty tasty, you get whacking great flavours of bubblegum and stuff in there. If you like this kind of beer, it's well worth a go. I'm going to go now and drink the rest of it. Take care, cheers.